Hey everyone, good morning. We are really thrilled to have you all join us for YUIConf 2012. It's our first year off campus, so we're just really excited to be able to do this thanks to Anil Patel and the Yahoo Developer Network, who really supported this whole event from the beginning and just made this possible. So we have a really exciting lineup over the next 2 days. We hope that you have a chance to really learn a lot, share a lot, and chat with one another and chat with us. We have a lot coming up that Dave's going to kind of break down for you so you can see what's ahead. And if you have any questions or concerns, come back to the registration table where we've got folks who can help with whatever needs you might have throughout the event. So I'm going to hand it off to a man who is a force of nature, and he moves mountains on a daily basis, our very own Dav Glass.
Thank you. All right, hey guys, were you having fun yet? Yes. Oh, no, one more time, come on. All right, that's better. All right, welcome to YUIConf. I have got so much shit to talk to you guys about, I don't have a whole lot of time, so I might blast through a couple of things, but the good thing is, all this stuff's going to be covered by other talks, so we'll have you covered, and I'll be back, in the back somewhere if you guys have any questions about anything. But the first thing I want to talk about here is our new cookbook. How many of you guys got a cookbook? Yeah. You all got coupons for a cookbook, right? All right, well, the author of this book is a really cool guy, and he's sitting right over here. And I'd like you to come up here for a second, would you? This is Evan. We have something for you.
Oh my God.
We blew up the book cover, and all the YUI team signed it.
Wow.
And we thought that would be a perfect gift for you to hang up on the wall.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dave.
Yeah. You're round for Evan here. I was kind of worried he wasn't going to show up in time. But luckily he did. All right, so a little bit about the event. We've got talks this morning, lunch from 12 to 1, talks in the afternoon, dinner, and then we've got Douglas talking tonight. That ought to be an interesting one. And then tomorrow, the schedule. If you guys need to know your schedule, if you flip your badges over on the back, the full schedule's on the back of the badge. That way it's easy for you guys to remember. You don't have to carry anything around to remember what the hell's going on where. So we got a few sponsors in your gift bag here. I called in a few favors with a few friends of mine to get a few stickers and things like that in there. So everybody here on this list has provided something for us. Now the special one is Mr. Paul Hummer up there, Rockstar _ everybody knows it. He has supplied a giant batch of cupcakes for everybody. He was unfortunately not able to make it. He's over in Europe right now, so he had to miss the event, but he wanted to be here somehow. So he decided to get a whole bunch of YUI cupcakes made and send them to us so we can all get a little sugar high off of it. So you can all thank him. Like I said, his Twitter handle is Rockstar _ Don't forget the underscore. You might not actually get the right person if you don't put that underscore into there. And then I want to do a special thanks for the people here at Yahoo that helped us out with this event, because this event is much larger than any other event that we've done. It's on a bigger scale. It's not actually at Yahoo, which is a totally different thing for us. But I wanted to point out, if you happen to see these folks walking around, tell them thank you for everything that they've done and set us up. The other people I'd like to thank is all of our speakers. We have a giant list of speakers, and it never ceases to amaze me how it grows every year that we have more and more external contributors actually talking and giving presentations, and less of the core YUI team giving presentations. I mean, this is the second YUIConf that I haven't given a technical talk at all. And that's pretty amazing that I didn't give a technical talk at all. So, make sure you say thanks to all the speakers. Like I said, you also be polite and, turn your cell phones off and all that good stuff. We're all big kids, but got to remind everybody of that every now and then. And then thanks to you guys for showing up, because if it wasn't for the YUI community, we wouldn't be sitting here. So you guys we owe you guys a round of applause for helping us grow as we have. And I'm going to show you guys some of the ways that we have grown over the past year. So instead of going through the whole list of everything, I wanted to actually take a snapshot of my slides from last year. So this is actually a screenshot of my slides from last year saying everything that we were supposed to be doing this year. And we've worked really, really hard on everything on this list. I have pushed the boundaries as far as I can humanly push them, and I've broken a few rules and busted a few walls down to get a lot of things done. So the first thing I want to show you guys is that we really wanted to focus on sprint-based releases, more preview releases so people can start testing things for us, and better scheduling so you guys actually know what's going on. So in 2011, we did 3 major releases. 3 major releases, and you're looking at 8 PR releases of a total of 11 little releases. In 2012, we did 23 total releases. We have gotten our release cycle down very, very well. We've gotten it down nice and tight. In 2011, it would take me over 2.5 hours to deploy a release to the CDN. As of the one that I think Eric did last week, it takes like 57 seconds. So it's insanely fast to be able to deploy a release. Eric and I have the pattern down so fast that we don't even have to really talk to each other. We can just say, hey, I'm starting this, and then within 20 minutes or so, the entire release is published, the website's updated, all the zip files are in place, everything is exactly where you expect it to be, and then we go on about having our coffee and finishing the rest of the day. Used to, it would take an entire day, and it would take 3 or 4 people this whole long process to do. But we've tried really hard to drop that process down as low as possible. And it shows. I mean, you can just see that that's over double the number of releases this year that we did last year. And that's just a YUI 3. So the other things that we have here is we have more community involvement, announcing our scheduling, and tighter GitHub integration. So we're actively we're actively working on our pull requests. We've got processes in place for our meetings that we actually gained Andrew this year, and he's been really good at nagging us to make sure that we're actually commenting on these pull requests when we're supposed to be, and talking to everybody, because it's kind of hard to see inside the little black box, which is what I'm hoping that as I get to the end of this talk, you guys will see that we're actually opening this black box, and we're opening it really big. I have to leave the picture up there of Eric because he's turning red right down here. That was an awesome picture. But we've been maintaining an active development cycle, so it tells us everything that is up on the GitHub Wiki. We modify that. We're moving a lot of our documentation over to the GitHub Wiki. That way it's all in the same place. It's also community editable, so you guys can go in and fix it. I actually noticed on Twitter this morning that somebody logged into this page and actually changed one of the links because we had a bad link. So it's kind of cool, that we're allowing people to do that. So here's the big one, is using GitHub for everything. As of this week, we have no more internal source. We are managing everything on GitHub's website. Guys, if you happen to notice sometime this week or last week, there was a couple of new branches that got created, and that's dev master and dev-3.x. What we're going to do is everything that's in the dev-master or dev-3.x is a working copy. That's what we're actually working off of. And when we commit into one of those branches, our internal build system will pull for that, and when it finds a change, it's going to run through our entire CI process. And when the CI process passes, it then pushes it back to master or 3x, so that you know that what's on master and 3x is clean, and it's tested, and you can actually use it. But if you're wanting to develop something, you work off the dev- branches. So if we work on something new, like this last sprint we did, IE10, we had an IE10 branch up there. Well, technically what we would do now is we would have a dev-IE10 and an IE10. You would know IE10 was clean and solid because we had done all of our testing on it. Dev- is where we check it in. So if anybody's wanting to do any contributing, you'll want to watch those branches, because that's where you're going to want to submit your pull request to. You'll submit your pull request to those, and then we'll be able to merge them in, be able to run them through our active CI system, and tell us if everything is okay. One of the other things that I've done in the last couple of weeks is now YUI builds every module every time it's pushed to Travis. So every time that you push it to Travis, it automatically builds everything. So you don't have to check in any build files into your pull requests. They'll just work seamlessly. So you guys use Shifter?
Yes.
All right, well, the old Ant build would take well over 25 minutes to build the 90-plus modules. On Travis, Shifter does it in 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's impressive. I mean, come on. Come on. All right. You guys got to wake the hell up. So one of the things I did this year was my little GitHub experiment. I talked to the powers that be above me, and I wanted to see what it would be, how feasible it was for us as an open source team to use GitHub 100% for our projects. So the list of projects that came out of that is this. So you've got YUIDoc. Now I know I showed off YUIDoc last YUIConf, but it wasn't actually published. So it wasn't actually registered on NPM at the time. We were working directly out of source because I was actually actively modifying it while we were modifying the website. So it was going through hundreds of iterations before we were ready to actually say, you guys can really use this. Grover, how many of you guys use Grover? Well, of course, the guy that I named it after raises his hand. Grover was actually named after Ryan Grove. I just took the R, flipped it to the other end. All right, see? All right, makes sense now, doesn't it? Echo is pretty cool. I'm not going to talk about a whole lot of these. I'm just going to show. This is the list of the tools that I have been working on over the last year. Anybody know what those numbers are? Come on, somebody say something. Yes, that is the number of NPM releases for every single one of these modules that I wrote last year. 209 of them. Come on, 209. That's why we're trying to be more open. We've shown that pushing it up to GitHub, we've got pull requests, we've got issues, people are coming in. YUIDoc got CoffeeScript support last year. I wasn't going to write it, but somebody else did. And they filed a pull request and they added tests. I mean, how can I say no? I mean, I can't say no when they give me valid code with tests. So the other thing is that almost every one of these are over 80% covered with Travis every time that they're run. So every time that I push a commit, Travis runs my tests, and it even spits out a coverage report and tells me how it's doing. So YUI loves Travis. How many of you guys use Travis? Okay, a hell of a lot more of you better hold your hands up next year when I ask that same question, because Travis is awesome. Travis has helped us in infinite ways. I mean, everybody gets to see all of our builds passing. They get to see any time that one of us screws up. The pull request building is just freaking nuts. You send a pull request, and Travis is going to actually fire off our CI build and tell you whether your shit works or not. And if your shit doesn't work, then you better fix your pull request. Plain and simple. I mean, it makes our lives so much easier. So here's a little bit about our builds on Travis. Our builds on Travis, we average about 7,200 builds using Grover. Now, Grover is a Phantom.js wrapper, so it's a headless WebKit. So it's effectively, kind of sort of running in a browser environment, but it's not a full browser environment, but it's a really good smoke test. It's a really good smoke test. It will definitely catch if you have some really bad things going on in your tests. We also run about 1,200 native Node.js tests. We have actually split out our tests into two different sections, those that require just JavaScript and those that require a DOM. So the ones that require a DOM, we all run inside of Grover and Phantom, but the ones that don't, the simple class creations and things like that don't need a DOM at all, we run those natively inside of Node, and we're always testing Node 6, 8, and 9 right now. So every time that we do a build, we guarantee that YUI is going to pass all of its tests on Node 6, 8, and 9, and then it's going to run these 7,200 tests each time that it does it. So since August, and I bring up August because that was when I launched one of the current tools that I'm going to be talking about. Since August, we've done more than 450 builds. We've actually done a little over 1,100 since we launched it in May. That's a lot of test runs. But just since August, that's 3.78 million tests that we run on our shit since August. That number just blows your mind, doesn't it? 3.7 million tests. That shit's got to work. So we've got a little bit of team news here. we gained a few people. This year we gained Anthony, we got Tony, back over there in the corner. See, he's the back of the class. Tony is technically our second external community member to join the team, which is pretty cool. And then Clarence, I don't think Clarence is here. No, I don't think he made it in. Clarence was our intern over this summer. And our interns are actually pretty important to us because our next member of our team, Tilo, is Tilo floating around? There he is. Tilo was our first intern, and now he's a full-time YUIT member. So that just means in next year or so, Clarence will be coming in and being a full-time YUIT member. And then, of course, we got Andrew. Where is he at? Back over there. Now, Andrew is an important role for the team. He's something that I really fought for a last couple of years to get someone into that position because I really wanted somebody to deal with the community. I've always been the really big community guy. Everybody knows me as being the one the face of YUI all the time. But I also needed somebody to help me because the community is so large, it's hard for me to answer every forum post. It's hard for me to stick around on IRC all the time and answer the tons of email. I mean, I literally have 50 in my inbox from just YUI users contacting me personally and not going through like the support forum and stuff. So it's really hard for me to keep up with that. So that's what Andrew is there. He's there to help us. He's going to be on the forums and he's interacting with people. He's doing the blog posts. He's making sure that we're pinging those pull requests and we're talking to people, making sure that we're posting our blog posts to Twitter and just the everyday community stuff that really matters. We now have somebody that can do that for us all the time, and I'm completely stoked on that one. But unfortunately, we had to lose 2 people of the team. So this year we actually lost Ryan, and we lost Luke. That was a very sad thing for me. They're both really great guys, and I've known them both for a long time. Ryan and I mean, last year really worked side by side a lot. I mean, we talked every single day as we were developing the website and all the tools that we're working on. But we want to make sure that they're not forgotten just because they're not here, all right? And that's what's going to send me into this next thing. This morning, we actually published this to GitHub. We published our YUI contributor model. This is huge for us. This is a giant step forward on anything that we've ever done. We've broken out the contributors into 3 specific groups. We've got our contributors, our committers, and our reviewers. Contributors are what everybody is right now. All the public people right now are contributors. If you have a signed CLA, you can submit a pull request all you want, and we'll merge it into source and do whatever is necessary to get it into the source tree. But the newest thing is the committers and the reviewers. I have to have a do, hang on. So the committers are a totally different thing here. The committers actually, they still need to file a pull request for code. That way everybody else can look at it, because our source tree is getting so big that just making a tiny change somewhere could really screw something up. And it could screw something up badly. So you need to make sure that people have their eyes on it. And it's not only the fact that it could screw something up, is that change could actually impact someone else down the line and they don't know it. Or it could be something that they're working on and they're waiting for. So they need to make sure that that piece of code is actually going to provide the thing that they need. Committers have a little bit of special access. They don't have to file a pull request for docs and tests. We trust them. If they want to go in and change my redneck English, go right ahead. I am never going to object to that at all. Lord knows enough people have done that already. I'm fine with that. And test. How am I going to turn down a test? I mean, you guys want to add a couple of tests? Go right ahead. That's perfectly fine by me. They also have full commit access on GitHub. Now, the new thing is reviewers. So reviewers follow the same lines that committers do, but reviewers have just a bit more responsibility on the fact that they actually can veto a pull request. They can say, no, this is like completely off the table. This is going well beyond what the scope of this thing should do. Now, here's what you should do. This is what I would do if I was doing this. So it's more of kind of a mentor thing that they're trying to help guide the way that the code gets submitted. And then we have settling of voting. So if we have a vote on whether something is supposed to go in or not, the reviewers actually are the one that settle it. So as of today, all of the YUI core team members are committers. So even the Yahoo employees are committers on this project, not reviewers. So they will have to file pull requests when they're making code changes. That puts them in line with everybody else. Now the reviewers, this guy. I'm the only reviewer as of right now. So I'm the one that gets to say yay or nay. But we're going to put more information up. It's actually up on the GitHub wiki right now, so you guys can pull up that and read it over. So you remember these guys? Went a little fast. You remember those guys? Yeah. All right. Right here. Bam. I told you I was going to blow that box open, right? So as of right now, they have commit access to the YUI3 repository. And every one of our projects will work the same way. So just because you have commit access to one doesn't mean you've earned commit access on the other. So if you're going to actively work on, say, Yeti with Reed, you have to work with Reed in order to be able to do that, and Reed will have to determine whether that person has commit access. So we're not just opening everything up. It's on a project-by-project basis because some people don't care. They might not care to work on YUIDoc, but other people might want to work on YUIDoc but not have anything to do with the YUI3 source tree. So gallery, my timer went off. Am I out of time? Okay, because the timer's down to 0. I was like, I don't know how much longer I've got. What time is it? 9:30. Okay. All right. So gallery. How many of you guys got a gallery module? Not bad. That's a pretty good chunk of the room. So we launched it in 2009. I physically launched it at YUIConf in 2009. We've gotten a pretty good chunk of numbers. I mean, up to today, it's 522 modules. And I did this check this morning, 164 deployments to our CDN. That's not too bad, considering it's all free. But we want to make that easier. It's a little too difficult for my taste. I like things to work fast. The YUI3 gallery repo, having to fork that? Not anymore. Ant? Gone. Low visibility? Almost gone. Almost. Actually, I ran out of time. I've been busting my ass for the last 3 weeks on this stuff, and I ran out of time to get everything I wanted to get in there. But I do have some really cool stuff to show you. These are mock-ups, so these aren't real yet. Jeff was kind enough to put these together for me last week. Once everything gets moved, once your module gets moved over into the gallery with Yogi and Shifter, any of you that have gallery modules want to check out Tony's talk tomorrow because he's going to deep dive into all of this. I'm actually going to kind of skim over some parts of this because I'm actually going to run out of time. But the whole goal is that using these tools will actually convert your gallery module to look more like a real YUI module. And if you can make it look like a real YUI module, all of our tools just work. So you got Celic, just works. You can generate all kinds of examples and landing pages with it. YUIDoc just kind of works. You put your tests in the same format we do, Grover's going to work. So what I've done is I've bundled it all together so that once you start converting your modules over and you actually write documentation, we're going to put it up on our site, just like this. We're going to put it in with the rest of ours, just like our modules. Your modules will sit right next to it. It'll be in the search. Same way with our modules. Your module is going to show up just the same way. And here. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to add this little box to the top right-hand corner. Now this guy, failed. I mean, he obviously didn't check his code before he checked it in. But we're going to put this little box up in the top right-hand corner. Now this is like I said, this is a mock-up. This isn't real yet, but we're going to judge all of this stuff based on the output of your builds. So when we run your build, we're actually going to run tests on it, and we're going to run code coverage on it, and we're going to find out what your code coverage numbers look like. We're going to judge the number of tests that you have executing every time. And we're going to put those numbers up here so the world can see them. Now, that'll make you write some damn tests, won't it? All right. We're going to put it up there so the whole world can see it, but we're going to do one better than that. We're going to put ours up there, too. So every core YUI module is going to run through the same process. We're going to put our code coverage numbers up there. So if there's a module in core, and there's the same module in the gallery, but it's got 100% test coverage, and if it's got 100% test coverage, 100% lines, and it's running 7,000 tests, that damn thing should bubble up higher than ours, because the owner that owns it should probably be looking at the other one, right? Come on. Come on. No, you don't need to clap. Just nod your damn heads every now and then. So we're gonna be flagging. Now this is a little. We haven't quite figured this out yet, but we definitely know we don't want to put voting on modules, because voting is completely arbitrary, and one guy could have 15 of his friends come in and just bump up the numbers. So we're trying to come up with an algorithmic way of making the popularity of these, and we can base those on the things that you see here: the statements, the branches, the number of functions that are covered, how many tests were run, how many other modules that this module owner has, and how many other modules in the system depend on it. Those are pretty important things. If you've got a module that a lot of people are using to build other cool modules, your module should get rated just a bit higher because it's being used a lot more, right? So we're going to try to use that as a way to judge the quality of a gallery module by using the little stars there. They're kind of hard to show up, but they're right there next to my module. There's a few little dots. We haven't like I said, this is all proof of concept. Jeff did a wonderful job getting me these over the course of a day of me asking him. I sent him a list. I'm like, this is what I want, and this is what I got back. So, the big thing is how are we going to do all this? Because that seems complicated, right? To be able to do all this stuff, but luckily there's a tool for that, and it's something that I've written. So you know how I told you about those 3.78 million tests that we've run since August? The tool that I wrote, Yogi, has been running those on every single commit that we have done since August. So Yogi's smart. Yogi's really smart. She's really helpful. So Yogi's there to help create, develop, test, cover, and even deploy your stuff. I mean, hell, she might even be able to make you money. I don't know. I'm this close to getting her to bring me a Mountain Dew. But Yogi is basically like a wrapper around all the cool little toys and tools and shell scripts and shit that I've used for the last couple of years that make me look like uber productive. And she does it for you. She's there to help in every way possible. And so last week, I did a first gallery build with Yogi. She built all the modules in the gallery, and I'll show you. So this is one of the builds that I did with Yogi. So you can see that Yogi was actively running the tests on this module, and it even told me what the code coverage was for that module. And intentionally, I made it low. That way you guys could see that it wasn't fooling anything. And you can see Shifter was running through building those modules. And it created the CDN deployment, and everything was run from there. All the logs are here. So it's pretty cool. I mean, Yogi's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, so, whoop, that's actually the wrong one. That was last year's Keynote. How the hell did that get in there? So that is Yogi. Let me show you a little bit of what Yogi can do. Can you guys see that? All right, so if you just type Yogi, she's going to give you all the help that she can try to help you with. You can say detailed if you want to know more. And there's a buttload of stuff she can do. But I'm not going to go into a whole lot of that because a lot of that's going to be covered in Tony's talk. But the simple things that she can do is you can say Yogi test. And she's going to test the module for you right there. She's going to run through and test it right from the command line and show you what's going on. Another good one here is Jason. This one's actually smart because there's command line tests for this one too. So there's Node.js tests and there's browser-based tests. So Yogi was smart enough to actually pick those up and run them for you. Yogi can even do one up better than that. So I'm going to leave charts and graphics out of this because they take too long. But it can run through and test everything in the entire system. The entire source tree is going to be tested. This is the exact same command that's run on Travis every single time we commit. Look at that. Now it's going to fire off all the phantom tests. Kind of cool, isn't it? You just sit there and watch that. So this works today. You can do an npm install Yogi, and she'll work inside of this. Now, the other thing, she works in the gallery too. So if you see this is my gallery repo. So I've actually moved all of my modules out of the YUI3 gallery repo into my own. So I don't have to have this giant monolithic Git repo. So let's go over here and look at Bitly. That was the one I showed you a second ago. You can see there's a build.json file in there, just like Shifter's going to need. There's an assets directory, CSS, JS, meta, tests. Looks exactly like one of our YUI modules. Well, guess what? If I can type, she can test that too. Come on. You got to think that's cool, right? Well, she can also tell you when your tests are not covered very well. So this will make you feel bad. This is one of those tools that hurts your feelings bad. I mean, you may think that you've got some really cool tests going on until you run this thing. And you run Istanbul on it, and you're going to go, damn. It's really going to hurt your feelings. But it's going to help you, though. So Istanbul will help a lot. Yogi can show you information about your module. So if you see this one, it's actually going to report. You notice the YY3-gallery is not in there anywhere? You can see that it actually gives you the GitHub repo that my gallery module is bound to. So you don't even have to have your one gallery or one repo for the gallery. You can have every one of your modules in a separate gallery or a separate repo. I don't care. You can actually not even name them right. So see that no name YQL module there? That's actually my old YQL module. But she's smart enough to know that. So that really opens the potential for being able to have a module in the gallery and have your source tree sitting wherever the hell you want it. As long as your module contains the things that Yogi and Shifter needs, which is the build.json file and the directories, that's all that really matters. But from inside of here, Yogi can do all kinds of things to help you out. Yogi has a server too. I think she's at 5,000 actually. So she got this built-in server to help you guys. And if you go over here and click on the landing page, you'll see your landing page. This is how it's going to look when it's put into our site. So you can make it look however you want, and it's using Celic. Same tool we use. It's the same thing we use to generate our site. You guys will be able to generate your stuff with it, and we're going to use that to put it into our site. Because if your source tree looks like our source tree, shit just works. Excuse me. Look at that. Sorry about that. YUIDoc was actually smart enough to see that my module was not the right one I was looking for, so it found it for me. So like I said, Yogi's smart. She's really smart. I mean, she really, really tries to help as much as possible. We've also got the ability to run tests. So this actually fires up a server. So the interesting part about firing up a server is you could hook that into anything you wanted to, like say Yeti, for instance. That's an interesting one. So if I actually go here, and this is my personal Yeti hub that I normally keep all my stuff connected to, right? So we can see, oh, wah wah, there it is. Yep, Yeti broke. Yep. So that didn't work. And it's his fault. You can blame the guy down there. But you should actually be able to fire up and hit a Yeti server. There's just so much that she can do to help. Now, you might be wondering a little bit about how to convert your module, right? So how you can change one of your modules over to the new module. So there's a little command in here called Yogi update. Let me jump into one of these that I haven't updated yet. All right, so you can see that's an old gallery module, right? Still got the build properties, build XML file. It's got one thing, a JavaScript directory. I can say Yogi update. Are you sure you want to do that? Yeah. Done. The module's converted over to using the new tools. It can use Shifter, it can use Yogi, it can do everything that it was supposed to do. Now, even better than that, Yogi Serve now instantly works off of there. She's there to help. She also includes one failing test automatically, so you'll automatically have test failures. And she even went over and imported all my stuff from the gallery website. So all the descriptions and summary and code examples that you already had on the site, she went and imported those in from the site and turned them into a Celic documentation for you so you could start modifying your documents. So now that I've got it converted over, I can do a Yogi info on her, and it tells me there, you see it's still bound to the YUI3-gallery repo, right? Well, I don't want that anymore. I want to set the repo to gallery. And there it is. I've now moved it. And say I really don't like the gallery dash, right? Well, now I can just tell her to change the source. Oh, wrong one. To source tabby. Done. That's easy, right? So now there's no excuse for anyone to have to wait to convert their gallery modules, because I can't put them in the site until y'all move your modules, because I need data in order to do it. She can also show you your logs, and it'll tell you the last few things that have happened on this module. There's the build logs from the last gallery build. So you can see them there, or you can see them on the website. Either way. You might not even have to go to the website. Because you can create a module from here too. I'm not going to show you that. You have to go to Anthony's talk tomorrow because I'm running out of time. But I will say that I've got more tools coming. Last week's gallery build was done with Yogi, and it was built with Shifter. We're not going to do one next week for two reasons. One, it's the day before Thanksgiving, and two, I'm on vacation. After what I've just shown and what I've done for the last 3 weeks, I need a week off. So the week after that, all new gallery builds will be built with Yogi and Shifter. So you can start converting your modules now. And then wait for the new tool called Grifter. Grifter steals things, and he steals them really well. Grifter is, I'm actually going to open source our gallery build tool. So what we use to build the gallery deployment, I'm going to give that to you. And it can do a whole lot more than just build the gallery. You can actually build customized YUI deployments. You could say, I want to build these 4 modules in the gallery, and it will go fetch all of them, and then merge it in with the YUI3 source tree. And then you can say, I want to build these 4 modules, but I only want these 6 YUI modules. It'll go out and do the same thing, but then it will truncate anything that you don't need, and it will open up loader metadata and truncate anything in there that you don't need and give you a customized version of YUI that says, here, this is all I actually asked for. Grifter is what built the last CDN build for the gallery, by the way. So she works. And that's it. Have a great conference, guys.